Okay, let's talk about The Expanse, the new fourth season that is now exclusively on Amazon Prime after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. We were expecting a slightly better funded Expanse than the Sci-Fi Channel could ever give it, and while the stories were always good and the science was gotten right, we found that the effects were adequate but not anything incredible. And we can see from just the first episode of the fourth season, which is on Amazon Prime, that it is where their money went. And the money went into making much more believable sets, much more believable special effects. This whole idea of the portals that go to different parts of the galaxy, the look of the new planet, which is alternately called Ilus and New Terra, is well represented. We're impressed with that whole production element. Of course, all our regular favorites are there, Amos and Alex and Naomi and Christiane, and the whole problem that is between the OPA and MCR and the UN are all well taken care of here, because no matter what happens, there's always going to be conflict in governments and between governments that they show. And so what we have this time is our heroes are going into one of these rings, one of these portals, and going to Ilus to find out just what's going on. Most of the people that tried to go there died, and so the UN had put a blockade on the ring so that people couldn't travel there, but did have an interest because of the mining interest there. The planet is very rich in lithium, and so there is this profit motive here. There is a solution for massive unemployment, and there is of course, the danger in getting there. But one group did get through, managed to get a way to communicate back to Earth. They found that it was a worthwhile place to be. They also saw evidence of more of the proto-molecule in this area. And so the only person that seems to be qualified to lead a mission through there is Jim, because of his visions that he started having at the end of the third season of seeing Miller again. And only he can see Miller, and for a time they thought that he was crazy, but now they're saying, well, if he is getting this kind of information, he is the person to send into this new frontier, if you will. And so his job was to go in, find out if the proto-molecule is there, if there is a danger, and if there is, to get the people who are there out. Now, once getting there, of course, he found that the people that are living there are not really wanting to go anywhere. They're finally in a place to where they have free air and water and food and, generally speaking, a pretty good life. And they don't see much of a threat against them. And so they meet our people with some hostility. A UN research vessel that was sent in as well mysteriously crash landed. They could have been attacked by something or someone, we don't know who, and there was only a couple of survivors out of that. They arrived before the Rocinante did, and that was a problem that came upon the Rocinante crew when they arrived, that they were already having a bad taste in their mouth from the others that came in, basically telling them that they were going to be relocated. Jim comes in and says, no, we're not going to relocate you. We're just going to try to find out things. And that, in fact, is what his intention is. And that's going to be pretty much the plot, the overarching plot of the entire fourth season is what is the deal with New Terra, and what are they going to have to do about this? Are they going to have to move the colonists off? Are they going to find a way to deal with whatever it is that's there and make it safe for the people to live there and open it up for other UN and MCR people to come through, and Belters especially? That's what we'll find out in season 4. So I recommend it. It's incredibly well done. My favorite thing in it is that finally all of the people from the Rocinante have been cleared of criminal wrongdoing, and the ship itself has been declared fair salvage. And so it's their ship, and so they even put a dedication plaque on it finally. So we're not going to have to keep up with what they keep renaming the ship for whatever mission that they're doing. This is going to show some new dynamics with the main crew. We're going to introduce some new characters and some new dangers. Like in the first episode, there seems to be a problem with bugs. So if that's something that tickles your fancy, I think that this is something highly to be recommended. If you've never seen The Expanse, go back and watch the very beginning, the first season, and just binge it. It is well worth your time. It takes a little time to get into the details of that universe, but once you do, it's very gripping. It's very realistic seeming. I mean, they don't violate any laws of physics that we know about. Their ships still shoot torpedoes and bullets rather than laser rays and things like that. So far, they haven't really found any green men. They don't have any kind of remarkable hyperlight propulsion systems. The only thing that they've done is these portals that can jump you from one part of the universe to another. That's been done before in things like Babylon 5, for instance. They had jump gates. It's similar to that, I think. Also, there was another thing that kind of hit me as far as a reference to Farscape, in that Crichton had kind of implanted in his brain this image of Scorpius, which he called Harvey, and we have a similar kind of thing with Miller in Jim, and so it is a way of being able to get kind of an internal dialogue to let you know what's going through someone's mind, and also an insight that he wouldn't otherwise have, and that's what makes him useful for this mission. And then also it gives us a way to get some of the necessary explanation of the plot as things go on. So I think it's a nice touch there, and I am very much a fan of not only the books, but this series, which is really one of the best science fiction series I've ever seen. So you should check it out, and don't forget to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does do a great deal of service to this channel. So thank you in advance, and until next time, don't go far.